Hi, my name is Fadluman and we are going to discuss what is the client and why we need to create a custom client and how the client works. So basically in the server container, when the request come from the browser container or other platform, so in the server container, this is received by the client. So basically what is the client? So client is the piece of code you can understand and you can imagine that, and it receive your request and then process it and send to the tags, and these tags send this information to the ad platform like the other things. For example, this is my website. Uh, so like I would go to the preview, so to check that how the client works. So so you can see that my custom domain URL is present in the preview mode. So you can see this is a server container preview. When I just click the button, I just set up all the tags. So when I just click on the button, you can see that our tag is fired. So let you show you. You have to see the request. You can see that it would be handled by the GA4 client. Basically, this was the request which GA4 received, and this was the request this sent by the client to the tags. Like the tag was OpenAI, so this information sent to the OpenAI. So the question is that why we need the custom client when all the things are handled by the GA4. So basically, GA4 just handle all the requests which follow the protocol of the Google's. Like what means that in the GA4 the code is written by the specific JSON structure. What means the JSON? Basically JSON, you can imagine that when you have the JavaScript code and you want to send this code to the other platform, the other you have to send this information which is present in the JavaScript code. You had to convert this JavaScript code into the plain text form, which is known as the JSON. So in the GA4 protocol, all these code are written in the specific structure. If you are invited to write this specific structure, then GA4 would not recognize your request and would not accept it. So for this you have to create the custom client. For example, you are sending the request from the Stripe. So in the Stripe, when you write the webhook, your JSON structure would be different from the GA4 protocol. Then this client would not be handle the request which is coming from the Stripe. Therefore, you have to create a custom client which handle this specific request which are written the JSON in a specific form. Like the you are sending the request from a specific CRM. Like mostly people are using the different CRM. Then the CRM request will not handle by the GFO for that to handle the request which is coming from CRM, which is coming from Stripe or other third party server. You have to create your own custom GFO custom client which handle this, which receive the request and send this request to the other ad platform. Like you should understand, you must be understand. So why we need the custom client? So now I am going to create a custom client. So I will show you how this custom client will receive the request and how to send this the tag. So you have to go, this is our server container. You have to go to the template form. So basically we are going to create a template of the client. So now you can see this is the client template. You have to click on the new. So you will see that we are in the template editor. So first of all, you have to give the name of the client. So what would be our name of the client? This is the fuzzle. So this you have to put the description if you want, and you can give the icon logo what you want to eat it. But we are skipping this to portion. Now we are going to the second field, because when you create the server container, then you do not need to put the any other data in the client, because the client automatically, when you are give the instruction to the client, you write the code, client automatically follow your instruction and receive the request and send to the container. So you do not need to put any specific instruction. If you want to put specific instruction, then you have to write in the code. So therefore this field you have to leave as, so we are in the code. So basically, these code is known as the sandbox. So what is the sandbox? You can see that this is sandbox JavaScript is the limited subset of JavaScript that allow the custom template to operate safely. Because you can understand like that, it is a safe haven. When you write the code sometimes shows the error because you are using your own function. You are written, the function is written by you, and basically you are a human, and this would show the error because these functions are dealing with the external links, like the when the client receive the request, because the request contain the external URL, you are handling the external information, then this would be the chance of error, and this would be the chance of security breakdown. Therefore Google will provide you own written functions, so which is known as the API. So you do not need to write specific function here. You just call out this specific function. You want to tell the Google, I need to this function, I want this function for my code. You have to call it this function, and Google provides you, and you can use it. This is a simple form of writing the JavaScript in the sandbox, which we are going to write it. So now we are in the sandbox. You understand this, what is the sandbox and what is the API. These built-in functions which are written by the Google, which is provided by the Google, it is known as the API. Okay, so now first of all I am going to write the variable constant, like first of all I'm call that get request body. Okay, so what I why I write this variable name, because in the URL when the request received by the client, it contain the body. So what it means the body, body you can understand like that. In this values would be present in your in the event name would be present. What would the event name, what would the structure, so this would be contained in the body. So I am just require. So why I write the require? Because I am using the built-in API of the Google. So I am not writing the complete functions, how the request body received. So I'm not the this function is already built by the Google. Just I'm calling that I need this function. I require this function. Therefore I just write the require. And you have to put the comma. You have to put the function name get require body. Okay, sorry, get request body, sorry, get request body. So what it means that in the URL, in the request which is with the client are receiving, in which would be the body present, and you have to accept, we have to call out this function, and this function will read this body. And what do you, so now we are telling that constant get request path. Okay, what mean the path? Path basically it is the URL. So like that, in the this is the basically, sorry, this is the URL. So when you open this control, like I will show you, so you can see that this is the collect. Basically when you open that, it contains all the information. This is the HTTP request. So it will tell you what the information it's contain, what the event name it contains. uh, so all this information would be present in this HTTP request. So basically you are telling that, so request path. So what the URL would be present, what the URL. So you have to require get request URL, sorry, path. You have to close this. And okay, now I am telling that claim the request. So we call the, so we now we have to require the claim request. So close it, and I think you would understand that first was variable. I am just telling the Google that I need this function. When the request contain the body, you have to accept the request. So when the request contain the URL path, you have to accept it. You have to call out this function, and this would received by this function. Okay, now we have to claim the request. So what request our client would receive, we use this built-in Google function, and we would accept this function, accept the request. Okay, now I'm telling that constant, so run the container. Okay, what mean that? So we need require. Okay, so you have to put the way. So run contain. Okay, run container. So now what means that when you claim the request, so you have to send this request to the container. Now you have to send all this information to the container. Therefore, you have to put the query to run the container. What is the container? Container is tags. It is your server container. So all the information, if the information match your tags which you built in, then this information sent to the ad platform. Now what you have to tell that, you have to tell that return the response. So what means the response? So response means that you can see that this is the response. So you can say this is the response. So basically this was the request. So this request sent to the ad platform like post 200, like okay, our tags are sent the information to the other ad platform, like no error is occurred. This is the response we received. So you are telling the client, so you have to tell us the response, what the tags are fired, what this information we sent to the container are correct or not. So you have, now we want a required built-in function of return response. Sorry, the spelling is wrong. Okay, so our response spelling is wrong, so you have to correct it. Okay, now you have to create another variable, constant variable, which would be the JSON. We know that what is the JSON. When you have to send your JavaScript code, you have to convert it into the plain text form, which is known as the JSON. So we are calling these functions. Now we have to tell the Google we have to require this function also. So you have to put JSON. Okay, now you have to close this, and okay. So now we need all these functions which are provided by the Google. So we just create the variable and call this function. Now we are doing the right function. What to do now? I'm telling that the constant. Okay. Now I'm creating the other. So which name variable name path. Okay. So path. So what means the path would be equal that when, so these variable would what equal to get request path. Okay, I am calling these functions. So basically I create this path variable. When this variable will call out, so our this function would work. So this function is provided by the Google. Okay, so now we are going to, so these function we are using, so why we write this, we are just telling the Google we need this function. Okay, now we are telling that we are creating then how we use these functions. Okay, so now we just create the variable path. So we use this function for this variable. So now I am putting the condition, first putting the condition like that, if the path, okay, I am using this variable, you have to understand, if the path, okay, equal to, sorry, you have to put the three variable equal form. So if the path is equal to like custom container, okay, like what you have to write. So what I am telling in this code, I am telling that if the path, if this variable, so for example, when this variable work, so this function would call out and it receive the path and it read the path. So I am just telling that this function would call out when the path contain these words, custom container in the path in the URL. If these word would be available, would be present, then you have to call out this function, otherwise you have to not. Okay, I'm putting this condition with the if. Okay, so now I am, okay, now I am telling, so if this condition fulfill, you have to claim the request. Okay, claim the request. So I think you would understand that what I write. So if this condition fulfilled in the URL, this custom container word would be present. You have to accept the claim, the request, you have to accept the request. Sorry, this is showing the error. So sorry, we just put the wrong parenthesis. So now, okay. Now you have to tell that. So now we are going to write the body function. You have to use constant like the body. So we are calling, now we are dealing with the body. Body will in the request which are received by the client, which contain the header, body and the path. So we are in the body. What means the body? Body contains the body contain the information, what the event name, what was the event name, so what was the event variables, all these information would be present in the body. Now we are dealing with the body, so I'm just using the variable constant way body. So body, so we know that body function, what was the body function? So we know that get request body. Okay, you have to call out these functions. Okay, when this function is called out, so with these variables, so so now we have to, so now we have to put the condition that, because you can understand that in the client would receive the data in the JSON form, in the claim text form. So this text form would not useful in the JavaScript, in the Google Tag Manager. You can, Google Tag Manager would not understand JSON form. You have to convert this JSON form in the JavaScript. So now in the client you have to tell that if you receive the JSON, you have to convert this JSON form into the JavaScript form. Therefore, you have to put the condition if body, okay, if the body, so we are calling, so now we are putting the other constant, sorry, so constant, so you have to change the name string body. So because this body variables was, when this body variable was used, when we receive the request, this is the initial form. For example, you have received the request. In the request, this is the JSON form, data is present. Okay, so this variable I am using. Now I am converting this JSON form into the JavaScript form. Therefore, I change the variables. So this is the string body, like, so you have to write JSON, put the dot. So you have to put the dot. So you have to write the parse. So parse means it is the functions used in the JavaScript which is convert the JSON in the JavaScript. You have to write. So where is your data is present? Our variable is. You have to write because it is received by, because this function is called out, we name this body. Okay, in our body JSON is present, you have to put the body. Okay, sorry, b large body. Okay, you have to close it. So now we just convert. Now what function we did? We just convert the JSON into the JavaScript form. So now we have the data. So in the we are seeing that in the body what are the events are present. How can we deal the events? So now we have to create a constant. So like we have to name this event data. So what mean the event data in the body? Now we convert this into the JavaScript form. Now we are dealing. Now we are seeing that what were the event was present. Now we know that what we are sending to the client, what was the email was present. The how the client deal with this data. How can recognize the client data with the event name. How can he differentiate with the email value, the name. So you have to put the constant event data. So now, we have to tell that. So this is the constant variable. Now we have to equal it, and now what was the event name? Like event name. So now you have to. Now you are telling the path that where this event name would be present. How can you call it? So you are telling that first of all it is present in the body string body, because now our variable we are using the string body, it is a JavaScript form. So you have to tell that string body. Okay, now you have to use a full stop, and it would be the event data. Okay, so you have to basically you have to understand that when you are sending this information, you know that this information would be coming from your CRM, from your third server. You know that what you write the event name, so you have to write according to these which would be must match. So for example, now because we are telling that where the event name would be present in the string body, so event data, sorry, event name. Okay, you have to recognize that event name. Okay, now you have to put this. So what would be the event name would be custom event. Okay, so you have to close this. So now you have to tell them what is the email. So our email would be like equal. So first of all you have to tell where your email would be present. So string body client would read from the string body, and you have to put the full stop. Event data, so event data you have to pull the, now you have to write in again string body event data email. Okay, this is the pathway where client would find our email. And now what would be the value? So value would be something would be happen. So now we are going to close this, like we do not need, you have to close this. Okay, now we are going to run the container. So for example, now we are calling that run container. Okay, now we are just, now we could, you have to understand that we claim the request. Okay, we convert the JSON in the JavaScript. Okay, we identify the what information are present in the body. Now we are telling that now we are going to run the container. Okay, so you have to call out this function run container functions with that with the event data, because you have to send the event data to the container which recognize which match by the trigger of the server container and run the tags. So you have to tell this event data, like event this variable you have to use. So event data. Okay, now we have to call out these functions with. Okay, now you are telling that you have to run the container first. After that you have to receive the response. So how can you tell that? You have to put the equal. Okay, so you have to put, sorry, so now you are telling that after the run the container you need the response. So we have to call out the function return the response, return response. Okay, now we have to call out the functions by applying that. So let's we have to close it. Okay, we close this and we first close the, so we just you can see that from this. Okay, sorry, from this we just open the, yeah, this is the body. It is, we put the two condition. First was the path, the second was the body. Now we have to close this condition because we did not. Now first we have to close the this. Okay, now we have to close for path. This is was the opening. No, you have to close this. So there is some error. They are showing that we just put the most. So we have to reduce the gap. So yeah, you have to put the semicolon. There is a must be spelling with a string body. Okay, now so because we are calling this function, you have to put in the, so first of all we have to close it. Okay, no, it is showing similar error. So there is a spelling mistake. So there is some error. So because we just put this semicolon wrong. So because this function would be completed here, therefore this function I just already put the semicolon here, and this is showing error again. So there is a must be a misspell. So this is, yeah, this would be string, so my variable, and I'm using other different. So you can see that now there's no error is showing. So now our code has been completed. Now we are telling the client what they need. Now we are going to the next code, permissions. So why you need the permission? Because you need the permission from the Google. So you have to read the request, return the response, run as a container. So these permission must be active. These are from the Google, so you have to focus on this. So now we just run the, so we just run the code. We check that there is a error or not. So you can see there is some error it is showing our code. So read request accessible to path is prohibited. So why? So code 7, line 7 is our wrong. So constant path request path. Now we have to check that what is the error in line 7. So now this error is showing that permission is not allowed to the read the request path. For this, I think this is the error. So you have to toggle. So you can see that this is specific when you. So what part of the, because in our code we contain the header, body, and the URL, but we just not tick on it, but we have to select any. So I telling the client I need the permission to read everything in the request which is present. So now we have to run the code again. So we'll see that our error is would be worked. So you can see that our test has been corrected, and it means that our client is ready to use. So now you have to save it client. Now we are going to test our client is work or not. You have to copy, and you can see that fuzzle client has been created. You have to come on their client, and so our already GA4 client is present. You have to click on the new, click on the client configure. This is our fuzzle. So this is, you have to, so we would name it fuzzle also, and save this. Okay, now we are going to test our client is working or not. So now we have to require to send the because we have no officially Stripe or other thing to have to send the request. Therefore, I would use the post. So this is, you have to open it. So we manually send the request to the Google Tag Manager. Then I will see that our tag is, our client is received the not. So you can see that post is opening. So this part is not for you. Is we are just making. So let me. So basically we are in the Postman. We have to send the request manually to our server container. So because we do not have the Stripe or other server to send it, therefore I'm using the Postman. So you have to click on the plus. This section is not for you. So I'm just showing you our client is working or not. We just created it. So you have to put the first URL. So our custom domain URL you have to put it. So for example, so you can see that this is our custom domain URL. You have to copy and provide there. Okay, now you remember that if you have to remember that when we are making the code of, so we just put the conditions. So in our URL this must be present. So let you show you what word must be present in our code. So we are in the template editor. I will show you. So it word was, I think, so you can see the custom container. So the spelling also must wrong. So custom container word must be present in our URL. So you have to save your code. So you can put any word condition, like I just putting this. So I have to put this custom container. Okay, so this URL must be present in my, so like container. Okay, these are the same words. Okay, now we have to put the key values. So you have to click on the headers. So like our key values would be so like that content type. What is the content? So we are sending. So content type basically it is the JSON form. Okay, so you have to tell them GTM. So where we are seeing that JTM server, basically we where we want to check there, we want to check in the preview mode of the server container. So I just write, sorry, you have to put the hyphen. So now you have to put the value of the preview mode. How can you collect it? You have to come on the preview mode of the server. Okay, then you have to click there and you can see send the request manually. You have to click and this would you have to copy and provide this value here. Okay, now we are going to body section. So because we are sending the request, so in the body what would be present, you have to select the raw. So JSON is already present. So now we have to write the body. So because these values would be present in the webhook, so like if I put the value like that, mm, what was our event name? So our event name. So you so because we know that in our code we just put the values, it must be same like that. So what we put that in this value, this was the, you can see that event name, we write that event name. So we have to write according to this event name. So sorry, so event name like the further is event name. Okay, now sorry, you have to put the comma because so you have to know event data. Event data like email. So email would be like I just put Fazal Rahman gmail.com like this. Okay, so I think our code has been completed. So this is the webhook I just write. I want to send to the server container. So I think we are ready to send the request, but we have to convert the post because we are not getting, we are sending. So post mean we are, okay, let me send this. So it is showing the error because something. Okay, we are receiving the error like something what happened. So we have to identify the error. So first of all, we have to see our URL like because we are putting the condition custom container. So in this put condition, I just use the hyphen, but in the code, when I just putting I just underscore. So we have to do the same. So now we have to use the hyphen and save this code. Okay, so like custom. So now our word was same. Now I was missing the dot in the Gmail. Now we have to send again the request. It is working or not. So again it is not going. So what would be that? So it is error is showing, but we have to do what we do because I have to restore the preview again. So we have to save the code and so we have to restart. You will see that our preview has been again restarted, and now let me check. So you have to copy this and put the header. So you have to delete and add new request. Now if I send the request, so you can see that our request has been sent to 200. Okay, now let me show you. So you can see that in the server preview, so you can see that we have the custom container, and this was used by the fuzzle. So this client, the word client, who the client, the fuzzle, the client. Now the GFO not handling this. So this was handled by the our custom client which we created it. So now you can understand that when you are sending the specific JSON form which are not matching to your GA4, because you can understand that in the GA4 event name, all the other data would be written in the specific JSON form. If your CRM, if your third server would not follow this form, so this would not receive by the GA4. Then you have to create a custom client. So we just create the custom client, and this is received by our custom client. So this is from me. So thank you so much for watching this